welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave. This is my 2004 C5 Corvette. But today's video is not about my car. I am going to meet up with a local guy named Dan. He's actually going to be starting up his YouTube channel pretty soon. So I'm going to put that info down in the description below. But we're going to meet up with him. He has a pretty cool looking C5 Corvette. So let's get on the road and go check it out. Thanks. Alright guys, me and Scott have been going a little bit back and forth here about Starbucks or Dunkin'. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you like Starbucks better or Dunkin' better? Cam in my life. Alright guys, so I'm here with Dan. Obviously this is his 2000 C5 Corvette. First thing you notice right away is the wrap. You got this done at New Jersey, NJ Vinyl Company, which is in Clark, New Jersey. Yep. If I remember. Yep. Clark, New Jersey. And then another YouTube channel. His wrap looks very similar to yours. Is LeftLaneOnly732 I don't know if you follow him or not.
I do.
Okay.
I do,
I'm gonna leave LeftLaneOnly732. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna leave his information down in the description as well. And then Dan's Instagram handle right there, 0XL. Now, like I was saying, he's starting up a YouTube channel pretty soon, right? Mm-hmm. So, Dan, what is the name of that channel?
What's up, YouTube? So, my YouTube channel is called LeftLaneOnly732. So, if you go search me on YouTube, also I could give you guys a link and put it below in the description. I appreciate that. So, there's gonna be a lot of like fun stuff that I'm doing with the car. Gonna be testing out the Draggy app and also launch control in this car and seeing kind of how that launch control plays into 60-foot time and also 0 to 60 time. So I'm gonna be testing that out. Be doing a lot of stuff with my friends as far as like cruises. My friend has a Gixxer 750 who's gonna be doing a lot of content as well on the channel, so please feel free to stop by, check it out.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the car besides obviously the wrap that is very noticeable. And then you can also notice he's got the wide body carbon fenders. I don't know if it'll come up on camera. Let's see if we can get a good angle, but you can actually see the carbon weave through the wrap. I don't know if that's really coming up or not on camera, but it's actually pretty cool looking. So besides wide body, what else do we got?
So engine wise, we got a Texas Speed 228R cam, PRC heads. We have an OBX header through exhaust. Varam intake, 3600 stall converter, and tuned by ECS. So that's really it for engine modifications. For other visual modifications, got the C6 Z06 Spider wheels. I got C6 Z06 shocks. Got C6 Z06 sway bars. I have a stereo system as well. Obviously, not super important, but if you follow the YouTube channel Taylor Ray created like what's called a drift vet, and he installed a MVX sound system in it. I actually took his exact list that he had put out there, put that in this car, and then we have the cipher seats and harness bar as well on the interior, which is pretty unique because I don't think any other Corvettes have cipher seats in them.
You're right, this is the first time I've actually ever seen these seats in a Corvette. They do hug you very well. We did drive what, 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes over here, so they do fit you very well. What size of the rear tires again?
325, 30, 19. Mickey Thompson's street radials. They grip extremely well. You know, I know a lot of people go back between the Toyo R88s and you know, the Mickey Thompson street radials. I've had some very good success and Never had an issue with the Mickey Thompsons, so I'd highly suggest them if you're kind of in that debate. I mean, not say that the Toyos aren't good tires. A lot of people have said they are good tires as well, but my personal experience, the Mickey Thompsons are extremely well. We're out pretty quick though. The one thing with this car, so because it's got the stall converter, I mean the transmission heats up quick. So I was going through like the mountains one day, like just ripping through the mountains. Transmission temp got to like 240. Oh, wow. I had to pull over, let the car cool down, just because with the stall converter it really heats up the fluid. So you know, I mean it's fine like for a good half hour, 45 minutes, but if you're like pushing on it hard, you know, if like you were doing track day or something like that, it's not viable. I need to get an oil cooler for a transmission.
Gotcha.
So if you make a right, you could give it a nice, you know, floor from there to there.
She gets up and goes for sure.
Yeah. I love how you can feel like it's squat in the back and
definitely
just
feel
go.
that.
So, how do you feel about overall drivability of like the Cam with an automatic car?
You know what? That's why I wanted to drive this car today, is because I'm in the market for getting a Cam, but I was not sure how big of a Cam to go. I know with the 228R that you got from TSP, I know they recommend a higher stall converter. So driving the car, 3600 stall, you said?
3600. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you actually feel the difference between obviously, you know, stock car, which mine is, and yours, as far as like once you even just get off the gas or get off the brake just a little bit, the way that converter grabs. I mean, it didn't just now, but I feel like it's definitely a decent combination. It's definitely not something that you're gonna regret if you do, you know, go with this type of setup.
Yeah, drivability wise, it's pretty good. It's not like super aggressive. Every once in a while, you know, you experience the car does want to die, and that's just kind of like the nature of having a Cam and an automatic car. Yeah. You know, that's why they recommend that high stall converter. You know, to help prevent that.
Yep. That wing you got out back too, like you notice that, man. Yeah, it takes away almost like probably like a third of the rear window. Yeah, at least a third. Look, hey, some stiff suspension we got here. Yeah. Almost felt some air on that.
Yeah.
In my seat, not the car, but me myself almost got air. I get like 19 or 20.
Nice.
So that's why I was like, because I see this gas gauge, I'm like, we just got in this thing and it's already like an eighth gone. I'm like,
yeah. It eats gas when you floor it. When you get on it, it eats gas for sure. But that's what I love about the car, man.
Yeah, you definitely you don't do this type of stuff and get this kind of car if you care about MPG.
Yeah.
But I just noticed that the gas gauge was already like moving it. I'm not used to seeing it move that much.
Yeah. So this was a one owner, 172,000 mile call when I got it. Okay. So someone loved and enjoyed the ever-living crap out of this car every day. They daily drove it with, you know, 172,000 miles on it, and then they ended up selling it to a wholesaler. I picked it up through the wholesaler. I got this car for like $6,500 bucks. Wow. Dirt cheap. Yeah. But it wasn't perfect, you know. It was leaking oil. You know, at 172,000 miles, you weren't sure kind of what condition the engine was in. You know, thankfully, when pulled the block out, everything was actually perfect. So the person that had this car maintained it extremely well, and just kind of is a testament to GM's build quality on these cars. Like we hear all the time, like an LS motor runs forever. Like everything else will fall apart on the car before like that motor goes. Exactly. Yep. So, you know, if you're looking to get into a C5 Corvette, You know, would highly recommend it. I bought a high mileage car. You know, don't be afraid of high miles. If there's proper maintenance records, proper, you know, documentation for everything, because these cars really do last, you know, for a long time.
People ask me all the time, like, what do you recommend as far as C5, what to look out for, this and that. Yeah, some people destroy their Corvettes, but like you said, the LS is just, it's a bulletproof platform. As long as you get a decently clean car, don't be afraid of high miles. Like you said, I mean, 117,000 miles, and the things look like it probably only had 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Just find the car you want, fall in love with it, and just get it. Like, that's what I recommend to everybody. You're never gonna not love this car.
Oh yeah, it's a great car. It really is. And even though it's like, you know, almost a 20-year-old car at this point, it still doesn't look, it still looks modern. Like, it doesn't look like, you know, dated.
Yeah.
The only way you know it's dated is when the pop-ups comes up.
When you turn your headlights on, that's when you know.
But overall, you know, the body lines of the car, it's super clean car. You know, I think kind of like the C5 Corvette somewhat revitalized the Corvette brand, because I remember people were real, you know, low on the C4 Corvette. I mean, not to say that C4s are not good Corvettes, but just at the time, it wasn't advanced enough compared to other, you know, sports cars that were out there at that time. And when the C5 came out, it's kind of like the same stigma that's happening with the C8 right now. We're like, oh my God, Corvette is back. It's, you know, it's revitalized.
Definitely.
So, you know, I think, like, if you get in a C5 Corvette, you're going to be extremely happy, for sure.
This thing handles good, man. I need to get the Z06, Z06 shocks, sway bars.
Yep.
Think about now with the Z06 sway bars, do you need the big rear tire for those? That's what I heard. That's what I read on the forums.
So
if you have a bigger rear tire, it works. But if you just have a standard stock width tire, you're better off going to Z51 C6 sway bar.
I mean, I've heard the same thing, but I've seen plenty of people running, you know, 10-inch wide rears in the back, which are, you know, I think they're stock, right? 10-inch in the back.
I think so. Yeah.
So I've seen plenty of people run 10-inch wide in the back with the Z06 sway bar and not complain about it. Maybe it's something you might notice if you track the car.
Yeah.
You know, I did actually, before I had these wheels, I had other wheels on it, and they were C6 5 spokes, and they were great with the car, and I never had any issues. It was before I had the carbon fiber quarters and these wheels. If you're hearing that rattle, yes, it is the interior. That's normal for C5.
Yeah, that's the GM 90s interior, which is the only downfall of the C5 is the interior. But everybody knocks it. Personally, for 90s, I don't think it's all that bad. Like, if you look back at like a 90s BMW, was the interior really all that much nicer?
No.
Not really. You know? No. It's just a 20-year-old car. You're not going to have the luxuries that you have today. Like, the new C7's interior is light years in front of this.
Oh, yeah.
But the car's 15 years newer. It better be. Now, these seats are definitely an upgrade over stock stand. I have the sport seats in mine, but I mean, they're not all that great. Actually, they have the adjustable
lumbar.
And all that. Mine on my driver's side must be a hole in the bag or something, so it never stays inflated. But these seats definitely. I mean, you're not going anywhere in these seats.
Yeah.
You definitely feel that they're a sport seat though, especially like on my ass right now. But not that it's like totally uncomfortable. It's just different. Yeah. I'm not used to it, so it's just different. But I mean, I can definitely drive for a while in these seats without really getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, the Cypher seats, I do like them. The reason I like them is because they are crash tested. Whereas like a lot of the other seats out there, they're not, you know, if you buy cheap seats, they're not crash tested, so they could be unsafe for you, get into an accident or something like that. The Cypher, they're crash tested. They've been a brand that's been around for some time. I had Cypher seats in one of my previous cars as well. They were always, you know, the build quality on them was good. You know, you don't feel like the seat like is moving or rocking back and forth, which is nice. And the price, you just can't beat the price. I mean, for the set, it was $700.
Wow, including brackets.
Brackets were separate. Brackets were like $150. So, you know, all
and no
set,
issue with fitment.
No issue with fitment. Direct fit brackets, and I still have the sliders on it, which is nice. So they're adjustable. They're not planted. You know, and I mean, not many Corvettes have Cypher seats in them. A lot of people obviously put in the, you know, the A4s or the Evo X's.
Yeah, you see A4s everywhere.
Yeah.
On this car.
You know, so what I did was actually looked up, because I know people put in the A4s. So I looked at the measurements of the A4s, compared them against the Cypher, and found out that the, you know, the dimensions of the seat were overall pretty much the same. So I knew that they would fit, because when it comes to aftermarket seats, not a lot fits in. You know,
yeah, you're so tight in these.
We're actually going to be going through a tunnel, so you'll be able to get a nice little.
So that means windows down.
Windows down. Headphone users, if if you got headphones on, turn them up. Picks up and goes.
Oh yeah, that was fun. And the power, again, power delivery is so linear. Like I feel in my stock car, there's no cam, no nothing, and just exhaust. You feel the transmission, you feel the shift a little bit in it, and maybe the converter takes a little bit of that joltiness out of it.
Yeah.
Because that was smooth, man. You barely felt the shift. I mean, we shifted, and you barely felt it.
Yeah. This is a nice little straight of it right here.
Yeah.
Just pull it. She hugs the road.
Oh yeah. There was no body lean in that at all. I mean, not that there is in a base C5 to begin with, but you didn't feel it at all in this.
Yeah.
Now, do you like this or the Evo better?
Okay. So, for
Evo 9?
10.
Okay.
So, I love this in the straight line, just power. As far as a drivability experience goes, in my opinion, the Evo, I love the Evo. And the only reason I love the Evo more is just because it's a manual. I have way more control over the gears, over the experience, as far as, you know, like what gear I'm in. Like, for anyone that's listening or watching, you know, if you own a 4-cylinder turbo car and you hit that third gear in a 5-speed car, 35 to 95 happens like that, and it's just a thrill. And especially with the Evo, it's all-wheel drive. You know, you can take full use of that power. With the all-wheel drive system, it actually will subtract power from a wheel if it feels like it's starting to spin and distribute it to the opposite wheel in order to catch it and even it out. So, I mean, the drivability experience in that car is ridiculous, and it's just because of technology. You know, like, I guarantee you, driving some of the newer Corvettes, I haven't drove a C7 yet, but driving a newer Corvette, you know, you probably have a very similar driving experience as you have with the Evo. So it may just kind of chalk it up to technology.
Now everybody knows why I got an automatic C5. Why did you choose an automatic?
Okay.
Just because it was the right car, right time, right price?
Right car, right time, right price. Also, and I think you had mentioned this as well. If your wife wanted to get in the car and drive it ever, she can drive it. My wife can't drive my Evo, or wouldn't be able to drive a manual, you know, Corvette if I had a manual Corvette. Manual go for like 13,000, you know, and above. And that's just like, and they're not even in the greatest condition at that price. So for this car, I got it for $6,500. It was an automatic. No, I don't plan on doing a manual swap. I mean, you know, the car's just not worth the money to do a manual swap on it. You know, so at $6,500, I couldn't go wrong. I was really looking to get into a C5 cheap and fix it up and make it how I wanted, and that's exactly what I did. The guy is just giving us the eyes.
Like, what the hell is that? Apparently he didn't like it. Either that or he was like, what is that?
Yeah. You definitely get a lot of looks in this car for sure.
I mean, you get looks in any C5, but you put a camo wrap on it, it doesn't blend in.
Yeah. Well, also a controversial camo wrap, right?
True.
Because half would say it looks like a cow, half would say it's a camo.
Yeah. True. Alright, so that was a little drive along with Dan and his 2000 C5 Corvette. Now, the reason why I really wanted to drive this car today, like I said in the intro, was you know, I want to get a cam for the car. Dan offered for me to come over and drive it. I met him at our Corvette meetup that we had back in June at Jimmy's. He again is going to be at the October one. So he has the TSP 228R cam, which was on my list, but the one thing that we mentioned during the video is TSP recommends upgrading the stall converter on this. So that's why I wanted to drive it, see how that actually responds, see how different that is to driving my own car, and if that's something that I actually wanted to go through and do, or if I just want to stick with a smaller cam that didn't need a stall converter. Now, when driving it, you definitely know that there's a stall in it, just by the habits from driving, you know, my base car, you know, for the last 4 years. It's definitely a different driving experience to it, but it's not overbearing where, you know, you're gonna hate the car. I definitely still enjoy driving it. So obviously, you know, when you get a cam car, one of the reasons why I want to get one is for the sound. This car definitely performs with the sound. You know, it has a cam. Some of the negativities on it, like, you know, me and Dan were talking about while we were driving the car. If you are in low RPM situations, you know, sometimes the car seems like it wants to stall out, but I mean, it doesn't, but it just seems like it wants to bog a little bit right as you're either coming to a stop or you're about to put it in reverse. So that's one of the negativities of the cam, especially on an automatic car. But this is a, you know, it's not a big cam, it's not a small cam, it's something right in the middle. And the power delivery on this is definitely smooth. You know, when we were driving it, that's what I mentioned, you know, I don't know how many times, that the power delivery is nice and smooth on this car. So, you know, would I recommend the TSP 228R with the 3600 stall? Definitely. You know, obviously you're gonna have to decide that on your own, but I wouldn't worry about the car being too much, you know, the cam being too big of a cam, and then the stall converter, worrying about that scaring you. You know, very little difference between this and my stock car. Definitely something you can easily get used to. And also, don't forget to follow Dan on Instagram, and I'm going to put his YouTube information down in the description. So that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.